Yo, testing, testicles. Hey. Yo, how do I even start this? What is up, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. It has been a minute since my last video, over a week. Sorry for dropping the ball again. It's been busy. I'm not gonna say it's been like super busy, but it's been substantially busy, I guess. I figured that I've been recording a bunch of footage over the past 2 weeks, but I just didn't have the energy to put everything together and to edit it. And what I normally do is I record throughout the day, and then when I edit, I try to sort of construct a narrative to better tell a story or to prove a point. But I figured for today, I'm just gonna ramble, do what I do best, I guess, and just ramble at the camera, and then hopefully some of the footage will sort of come in. And if not, who cares? I think it's about time that I put out another video. I still have like all the receipts just lying around from my last video. And so yeah, I'm not really sure where to start without, and hopefully this isn't going to be like a massively long video. So, what has been happening? Jeez, let's talk about work. So, many of you guys may know that I work as a gym manager at a really cool bodyweight and calisthenics gym called Level 9, and we have opened up our second location. So look at these skylights, they're so fancy.
No sharing, even do no sharing.
I was spending quite a bit of time helping with opening that up. We had our grand opening on Saturday, but it was really funny because we were building like a massive calisthenics sort of monkey bar playground rig. And Terrence, the owner, he designed everything himself, so he did a really good job. And the main setup was like a 4-meter high rig. And we're just trying to figure out how the hell we were going to build everything and put it up. The funny thing is, we received all the goods, but upon receiving it, we didn't realize that they actually split it up into 2 shipments. So the first shipment came, and it had all of the verticals. They had like most of the pieces. It had like maybe 80% of the pieces. The thing that it was missing though were all the nuts and bolts that fix everything together. So for the first week, we had all these pieces on the floor and we couldn't build it. So it was really frustrating. Like aside from going to Bunnings and buying our own hardware, but then that's just doubling it up because it's quite expensive. So we we were just standing around staring at the pieces on the floor. We spent like a good 90 minutes just sort of going back and forth and like arguing with each other on what's the best way of putting it up. But then at the end of the day, we're like, look, it's one of those things that we'll figure out as we go. We just need to call it a day because there's nothing we can do. Luckily, the rigs sort of tied to each other for stability. And because the rigs were 4 meters tall and we didn't have a ladder, we had to fix it up as it was lying on its side. And then me, Terrence, Michelle, and Ronaldo, 4 of us had to prop it up and walk it up while the other person was like trying to keep it stable. We had this really funny moment where we had an idea of using a rope, because like we put up the first side, and then we were like, what if we use a piece of rope to tie it to the second 4 meter tall piece, and we can use a rope to cinch it up or to like use it as a pulley.
Maybe I should do that.
No, don't worry. Like in the moment, like as we were talking about, we're like, yeah, this is gonna be a good idea. And as we were about to do it, we're like, no, this is fucking stupid. But we got everything up. The place looks great. And on Saturday, last week Saturday, so what, 3 days ago, we had our grand opening, which was a really good turnout. We had a few members from our first location come around, and yeah, so here's some clips of the showcases, and yeah, hopefully this will give you a sense of what the gym looks like. Go, 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 go! Aside from the gym, I've been, well, I have been for what, like the past 8 weeks, writing up the program for all of the members. And then now I'm gonna start writing up our motion program, which is something that I'm really interested in doing. Me coming on board with like my parkour and free running background. And they always had this product called Pure Motion, which was sort of like introductory, just movement, functional movement. As I came on board, I introduced like the tricking skill side to it, but then we quickly found that it was a bit advanced. So we're gonna go back to the roots of Pure Motion, and so I've started writing the program for that. Yeah, speaking of parkour and free running, I'm getting back into it. Well, I'm getting back into flips really. Like there's this move that I've always wanted to do. Well, there's a lot of moves which I've seen a lot on Instagram and on whatever, YouTube, and I've always been like, I want to learn that. It's called a Webster flip. So here's some clips of me sort of learning how to do that. And I think like, if I had to say what my skill was, like I've been training for a while, but I don't do any like big, amazing, like powerful moves or anything. What, if anything, the thing that I have developed over my years of training is my ability to learn. Because once I see a move and once I understand it, I can I can break it down and relate it to other moves which I already have, and that really helps me learn this move. So for example, for the Webster flip, I'm quite comfortable with doing an aerial. So then I took the aerial setup and then a Russian front flip setup, which is what I'm doing with my arms. And through doing that, combining it together, slowly getting something which is more similar to a Webster. Okay, I understand. So yeah, that's something that I got up to last week, which was kind of fun, kind of cool. If you guys want to see more of this movement type stuff, please let me know in the comments, because yeah, I'm not really sure where I want this channel to go to. Otherwise, if I don't hear anything, then I'll just keep doing whatever I feel like, which to be honest is probably what I'm going to do. That's some stuff that I've always wanted to sort of like delve into, but lately it's just been a bit tiring because I've been doing a lot. Speaking of doing a lot, my second job, bikes. So I've started working at the local bike shop, just detailing and cleaning bikes, and I've tried to record what I do there, but it's not really the best environment for it. I don't really want to be like, seem like I'm the type of person who's always on my phone and just recording bikes and stuff. the great thing about this job is that I get to ride a lot of, and just sort of work with a lot of very different types of bikes. Types of bikes which I would probably like never have gotten the opportunity to ride. So like a lot of dirt bikes, adventure bikes. I haven't ridden a Harley yet, but I've ridden a few cruisers with like forward controls where your feet are in front of you and you're just sort of like this. Those are really fun. I've dropped a few bikes. Oof. I think a reason why I haven't been uploading stuff is because last week, it sounds so weird, it seems like such a long time ago, but it was just last week. I was sort of feeling a little bit down on myself and a little bit depressed, to be honest, just because I've dropped 2 bikes, and I feel horrible, feel so terrible. The one that I feel the worst about was in my second week. I was detailing a Honda CBR 1000, the Fireblade, so 1000cc sports bike. Man, that thing, like, it's probably faster than my bike in first gear. So this is a Fireblade that I dropped. I feel horrible, but I think I did a pretty good job at like fixing the scratches. There's a scratch here, some scratches down here. The main part was here, so you can probably see if you look really closely. You can't see it from far, but yeah. Broke a lever and then I broke a foot peg. So that wasn't good. And I spent the whole day detailing it. I had it looking meticulous and lovely and super shiny and clean. As I was about to ride it into the showroom, I was on a hill and then I was sort of walking around. It's not a tour bike or anything, and I'm not exactly sure how I dropped it, but I just dropped it. Like, I think I was going downhill this way, going backwards, and as I was about to go forwards, maybe because it was quite steep, it just went boom, and I just completely fell off it. Luckily, I didn't get hurt. I didn't hit my head or anything, but yeah, that was really bad. The guys at this bike shop were really gracious about it, and they're like, yeah, look, shit happens, it's all good, we'll just replace parts. And luckily I didn't get slapped with a fine or anything, but after that I was feeling really crappy about myself because that happened, and also I was having issues with my own bike, which I'll talk about later, and it just all sort of compounded, and I was feeling really not confident about bikes. And to be honest, I'm very careful around bikes now because, mate, I don't want to drop any more bikes. I've been there for 4 weeks and I've dropped 2 bikes, so the first bike was like a really heavy, it's like the BMW version of a Goldwing. It was freaking heavy, and I was trying to move it around. I think I might have footage of it. I was trying to move it around, and it's one of those bikes where the kickstand just automatically kicks up or kicks back, and then so it just went over the tipping point towards me, and I was still holding it, but I just couldn't push it, just couldn't lift it. I think this bike was probably 350 kilos, I'd say. It's a massive bike, so I was just like, trying to push it, and I was like, no, can't do it, so I had to really lay it down. Luckily, there wasn't any damage to that bike because I literally laid it down. And I felt terrible on that day as well. That was in my first week. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Just sort of working on different types of bikes, washing them, detailing them, getting them ready for the showroom. Yeah, it's funnily enough, like there's another team that works there, and they are sort of in their own little group. What they do is they service all of the postie bikes, the Australia Post Honda Red CT 110 bikes and scooters and mopeds and all that stuff. Yeah, they do servicing and maintenance on those bikes, so they're super busy. But the guy, one of the stakeholders or the owner or whatever, I saw like I was working on the bikes, and then I saw that he was sort of making like eye contact with me and just sort of looking over to me like, on several occasions. So I was like, I didn't really think much of it. So he looked at me once, and I was like, hey, how you going? And then the other time he was looking at me, and I was like, okay, all right. So I went to my workshop, and as I was working on the bike, he came in, and then he was like, hey, introduce himself, like, what are you doing? What do you do here? Do you work here? How many days a week? Blah, 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 blah. And we just sort of started talking, and then he was basically saying like, introducing himself and what he does and his team. And he was basically like, a few of my team members and myself included have seen you around working on the bikes, and we like how you work. You seem really switched on. You seem really passionate about what you do, and we really want you on our team. And I was like, geez, it's been 2 weeks. I'm happy that I give off this sort of passionate energy because I was just washing bikes and, I don't know, dropping bikes. That was last week. I've had a chat with him and his other team members since, and yeah, they're just basically like, yeah, like we're really excited to have you on board. We really want you over. I had a chat with one of them today. I'm not really into just washing bikes and detailing bikes, so if I can work on postie bikes and like improve my mechanical knowledge and like do some engine rebuilds and refurbs and all that stuff, sure, I'll be down for that. Currently do 2 half days. Maybe I could do 2 full days, but that's all I'm looking for at the moment, blah, blah, blah. Had a chat with one of them today, and he was like, yeah, like we want you on full time. And I was like, no, wait, hold on. No. Whoa there. It's good to know that I exude that type of energy, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And for now, for the short term, I'm pretty happy with just detailing bikes and washing bikes. As I said in my previous video, the money that I make off this gig is to pay off my imaginary debt to ourselves, which I've spent so far on the bike. And then once I pay that off, then I'll save it for a second bike. But who knows? Things might change. Things might change. I think it's good to have like a second gig. To be honest, it's actually working quite well because it's in a way it's making me not want to work on my own bike because I'm constantly, I'm getting my fix. But yeah, it's been good. I'm gonna take a drink. All right, speaking of bikes, so at the start of last week, my bike wouldn't start. So a couple of days ago, I filled up my bike, and as I was pulling out the driveway, I felt a dip in performance in the bike. It was sort of like spluttering a bit, making some weird noises. This was on Wednesday night. It's Friday morning now. I was riding the bike yesterday. I was riding it around last night. Basically all day yesterday I was riding it around. And then this morning, the bike would start and it will idle. But as soon as I roll the throttle, it will die. So I'm not really sure what's happening. I thought maybe it's a difference in fuel from E10 to 91. So I tried that, but I don't think that's makes a difference. I don't think that's the cause. So I'm at my wit's end, and I'm not having fun anymore. It's this is happening way too often. It's so unpredictable. It's just tiring, you know. It's a roller coaster of emotions, of getting it fixed, being content with it dying, spending more money for it to work for a few days, and it's just getting a bit much. And I was really annoyed. I sent a video and a message to Peter at Motorcyclogic, who worked on my bike previously. He's based in Seaford. If anyone's in Victoria and they need like a bike whisperer, Motorcyclogic in Seaford. Really recommend it. But I was like, look, I filled up the tank. It was riding fine. Got home, next morning, idles, rolls the throttle, it dies. What the hell's happening? he said I probably have contaminated fuel. And I was like, yeah, okay, look, that makes sense, because on that same day I washed my bike as well. So I'm not sure if you guys remember when I was when I was repairing my tank and I filled in the epoxy on the inside. I'm not sure if you guys remember me saying that I regret painting the epoxy on the inside where the fuel cap is. And then after that I had to sand it. Well, basically my fuel cap doesn't fit perfectly anymore. It sort of bulges off to the side. And I think what happened was when I was washing my bike, or maybe when it was raining, water got into my fuel tank, and then so my fuel was contaminated. So what happens when water goes into petrol is it forms a layer, but water is denser, so it goes right to the bottom. So I think what happened was my bike was riding fine, fuel goes lower and lower and lower and lower and lower until it reaches the water level, or the level where it's water. The water got into the carbs and then it wouldn't run. So basically what I had to do was flush out all the fuel from the carbs, and that seems to work, but only for like a few hours or so, and then it started spluttering. Like it rode like crap. It was like ba, 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 ba. Alright, I made it to Prahran. The ride here was really unpleasant. It was terrifying. Bike's making a weird noise, a big, like a spluttering noise, loss in power, and it smells like oil. And I am almost certain that a seal in the engine has blown, and oil is going to places where it shouldn't be going, and probably coming out from the exhaust as well. So not good, not good, not good, not good. It doesn't feel safe to ride. Let's just say that. I thought that I had fixed the contaminated fuel issue, and then the reason why it's smelling like oil and burbling is because maybe the internal seal or a piston seal or something has broke, and then it's like mixing fuel with oil, and I'm just like, far out, man. One thing after another, why won't this bike just be good? So I was actually very close to getting it towed again to Peter so that he can work on it. And at the same time, I was toying with ideas like, it's getting a bit too much. Like if it's engine work, it's probably gonna be like $1,000 maybe. Do I just buy another bike? So luckily, I decided to purge all the fuel again, because I was like, okay, maybe this might be a little bit more water. Emptied the carbs, emptied the fuel tank, checked to see the fuel, no more water. Put it back in, it was still burbling, and I was like, what the hell, man? All right, I'm gonna take it in on the weekend. And then it just magically fixed itself. I got home one day and I was like, I'm gonna take it out for a ride. If it still sucks, I'm gonna take it to Seaford the next day. Because I could still ride it. I didn't have to get it towed. I could still ride it. It just rode like absolute crap. And then it was like, bah, 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 and it's fine. And it's been fine ever since. So I think what happened was there was like a little bit of residual water, and it just purged itself out of the tank. And then at the same time, it was smelling like oil, engine oil, really strong. And I felt really like paranoid whenever I was riding. I'd come to the lights and then like flip the visor, and all I smell was engine oil. I'm like, oh God, what's happening? So I had a look at my bike and I was like, there's a tube from the engine that just leads to nowhere. Do you think maybe that is why it smells like oil? Like previously that tube goes straight into the airbox, but since I got rid of the airbox, there's just a tube that leads to nowhere. I was like, yeah, that might be a reason, hey. So I've ordered an oil filter sort of clamp on. Right now it looks really, really shoddy because I just got like a cloth piece of, like a hand wipe. I got like a hand wipe and I just like zip tied it to the end of a tube, and it was like sort of coming down. So I think all the oil was coming out. So I've just sort of routed it up and around so the oil sort of has to fight gravity for it to come out. And yeah, That was why my bike smelled like oil. So, long story short, I was very close to A, selling my bike, B, buying another bike, and now it's fixed. Now it runs fine. Well, it runs okay. So speaking of other bikes, I test rode a Honda CB250 Nighthawk, and honestly, I'm still thinking about it. It's $1,000. Basically, if something happens to my bike now, and I have to spend money to fix it, $1,000. Just get a new bike. But yeah, I test rode it. It's a good bike. Not in the best condition, but $1,000. I mean, come on. Honda reliability as well. I kind of miss I miss that Honda reliability because my first bike was a Honda CB125E. It's like the classic Uber Eats rider bike. 125 cc's. It barely got up to 95. But it was confidence inspiring. I rode it all the way to Deniliquin, like Murray River, on the Hume Highway. Just everyone passing me. I was on like the far left. It was a slow bike, but it was a reliable, confidence inspiring bike. And yeah, I think I want that. I miss that. I miss Ronda the red Honda. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at the moment in terms of the bike. I am considering getting a second bike just for reliability's sake, and then I can put the Kawasaki on like a Club Rego. And yeah. Hey, while I'm on the subject, like I just want to say thank you guys for commenting on my videos and subscribing to the channel. From memory, I believe we are on 83 subscribers now, which is awesome. I have a goal of reaching 100 subscribers by the end of this year, and I think it's going to be pretty achievable. But aside from that, I've been getting a lot of really good comments from you guys and a lot of support from you guys. I don't have any way of referring to them right now, but I'll chuck them onto the video. But yeah, man, thanks everyone for your support so far. It's been really cool to see like randoms, people who I don't know at all, find my video and say like, I really enjoy watching your videos. It inspires me to work on my bike, or I'm going through a similar thing and these really help me. That is like, it feeds my soul, because last week I was in a pretty shit mood, to be honest. And especially after my last video, I know I did say like, let's not worry about the money, let's just enjoy the bike that we have. But that's every time something happens to my bike, I'm just like, oh. But look, the bike is behaving now, and yeah, thank you guys for your support. I've sort of changed my perspective on things. I think this bike, it's unreasonable of me to expect a bike from the 1980s to work like a new bike and be a reliable bike which I can use every day without taking it to a mechanic and without spending a lot of money. So it's been pretty good, and the work that I've put into it, I'm not a professional obviously, so like of course it's going to have issues and break down. So I think, yeah, it is what it is basically. I'm happy with the bike. It's not ideal, and I can't expect it to be ideal. So that's why I'm at the point where I'm like, maybe I should just get, I don't know, like get a scooter or something. Scooters are cool, by the way. Just get a scooter or a postie bike or a CB125E or a CB250. Just something where it's like, all right, you should be reliable. This one can just be beautiful. But yeah, that is where I am at. I just had a brain fart at the moment. Like as I was saying that, I was like, oh, I need to say something as well, but I forgot what it was. Completely forgot. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, thanks for catching up with me. Sorry that I haven't been posting much, but it's just been a bit busy. Yeah, but I can't promise that I'll be doing 2 videos a week anymore, but I'll try to be consistent. I've really been getting into making sushi. So that's a bit random, but maybe I'll make a sushi video next. I ordered this musubi set from Amazon, and it's like game changing. To be honest, it's been a good distraction for me, because if I'm not thinking about sushi, I need something to latch onto, because otherwise I'm just looking at bikes and like thinking about this bike and thinking about my next bike. This is a good, cheap, fulfilling, nutritious way for me to not spend money. But yeah, I've been posting a bit on my Instagram, so if you don't see me around on YouTube, you can always follow me on Insta. Handles here. I actually don't even know what it is. Alan at home, probably. But yeah, follow me here, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys. Peace. Bye.